Here for Financial Focus. You know, the weather's looking great. What else is looking great is consumer sentiment. We're going to start there. But this one's a little confusing, Steve.
Yes, the economy is looking much better. Now, this is where, you know, again, as humans in an economy, the reports get all over the place, and it's interesting to try to figure out why it is. This month's Consumer Sentiment Report, which is a psychological review of how people feel about their job, their homes, their businesses, it went up last month, but at the same time, consumer prices went up. So how do you reconcile the fact that folks are feeling better, but prices go up? The reports are usually 1 month apart. So the prices went up in March, but the sentiment report usually is taken a couple of weeks before that. What'll be interesting to see is how the report looks now that gas prices, as you've noticed, have crawled back up a little bit. Will people still feel as good as they did a month ago with prices going up?
Yeah, because consumers are fickle.
They are very fickle. That's what makes the job very difficult.
Okay. Also, to talk about today, more China stimulus on our Financial Focus. What does that mean?
The Chinese economy has been slowing over the last year or so, and the Chinese government has really been trying to control that, which is very tough to do. But over the weekend, they announced that the central bank will allow the Chinese regional banks to lend more money. Up until Saturday, they had what's called a reserve requirement. Now they lowered that, meaning now there's more, about $200 billion more can be lent. The theory there is if they lend more money, it'll stimulate more economic activity and bring the Chinese economy back up again. We'll see if that happens. And no, we've had this in the U.S., we've had this in Europe, and now we're seeing it in China. So it's basically just going across the world. And that's really why the stock market has gone up today, because with more money coming into the economy globally, some of that money should find its way to the U.S. stock market.
Well, the stock market certainly has been doing a roller coaster for us in the past few days. And a lot of, like you mentioned, the entire world really watching to see what's going to happen in China. Yeah,
China has been pretty much leading the way the last few years with their over-average growth. They're beginning to slow, and that's really a concern because the communist government never wants to look bad, and they'll do whatever they have to do to look good. And here's one example. And whether it bears fruit, we'll see.
Speaking of looking good, YummyPulitzer debuted a line at Target stores nationwide, and no surprise, the ladies went nuts. It was kind of a madhouse in Targets all across the nation this weekend.
From what I heard, a lot of folks went nuts. I actually had a family member in town who went over to Target to see what was going on, and it was all sold out at one of the Targets here in Henderson. And this is where a company really, from a PR perspective, trying to do well, trying to bring in a higher-end brand, but it doesn't look well PR when the stuff gets taken off the shelves quickly, and you can see the madness here. And then from what I've been reading, a lot of this stuff is showing up on eBay at a higher price. So Target might be meaning well, bringing in a designer brand at a lower entry point, but if folks are here hoarding, and again, is Target intentionally keeping the supply low to create the buzz, and then see what happens on the website? Website crashed, folks are now reselling it on eBay. Is it really worth it for Target to not necessarily look so good? They had the data breach issue over the holidays. Now you got the YummyPulitzer issue. Maybe they're not designed to handle designer brands.
Yeah, may not be worth the headache.
That's right.
Steve, good to see you.
You too.
Happy Monday. We're going to be right back here on Midday, everyone. Stay with us. We'll be back after this commercial break.